Welcome to the Grind to Greatness podcast, where we dive deep into the world of relentless determination, hard work, and unwavering dedication to help you unlock your full potential. We're your hosts, Jonathan and Joseph, and your mentors along this journey to greatness. Each week, we'll bring you inspiring stories, expert insights, and practical tips where we've turned our dreams into reality through sheer grit and resilience. Whether you're looking to excel in your career, improve your health and well-being, or simply level up in life, this podcast is your go-to source for strategies, motivation, and the mindset needed to achieve personal excellence.
What's up, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Grind to Greatness podcast. And today's podcast is sponsored by Elite Mind Athlete, the #1 online elite coaching program for high school and college athletes, helping them build the discipline required to perform at the highest level. We built a user-friendly app that tracks your productivity where it counts the most, and that's learning how to clock in when everyone clocks out. We structured and organized their day to execute 10 high-performing habits that focus on mindset, discipline, nutrition, and performance. We call it the Elite Grind System. If you want to become like a champion, then you have to start doing what champions do. We give each athlete the tools and resources to be successful, along with our elite coaching guidance to prep them to handle the extreme standards of what it takes to operate the highest level. Visit elitemindathlete.com and learn how to chase greatness. Joseph, how's it going, brother?
Bro, I am ungratefully satisfied.
Ungratefully satisfied.
Yeah,
no,
right.
it's gratefully satisfied.
No, it's
ungratefully.
Don't be fucking up your own quote.
That's
that
my
I
own
stole.
quote that you stole from me.
Ungratefully satisfied.
I haven't had a chance to say it in forever because you always say it first now.
Ungratefully satisfied.
Well, hey, man, we got a good topic today.
Yep.
And this is a topic that people are going to face in starting the entrepreneur or growth journey, because at the very beginning, you are unskilled at a whole lot of things. And so you might have heard the conversation, fake it till you make it. Is it good advice or is it a setup for failure?
Fake it till you make it. I think it's fantastic advice. In the military, we used to say things like, fake motivation is better than no motivation, you know? And so it was kind of beat into my head early on that faking it's okay. What it essentially means is...
What is that? I was about to ask.
Yeah.
What does faking motivation mean?
It essentially means that, like, do the things you have to do even when you don't want to do them, right? Which is what we talk about all the time. And so faking it till you make it, it's like, man, I don't want to be here. I might have imposter syndrome. I might not feel good enough or whatever the case may be, but I'm going to do it anyway. And so that's essentially what you're doing. So it's the same thing with motivation in the military, right? So if you're in the military and someone's down in the dumps and the unit is looks beat up, looks like ass, like you're going to get tore up by your NCOs.
Okay.
Like, it's not allowed. Like, you need to be on point 24/7, good attitude, looking sharp, dressed sharp, doing your job, so on and so forth. If you can't do that, fake it until you can do that, right?
Yeah.
And so that's what it's like. So fake motivation, we say false motivation is better than no motivation.
Yeah.
So same concept. And again, it's been beaten in my head since I was 18 years old. Even before that, probably in sports too, right?
Yeah.
There's always practices, workouts, games you don't want to play, but you go play them anyway. And so it's all about faking it. And then one day you look up and you've been like, man, I didn't want to do half the shit that I did.
Yeah.
But look at where it got me.
So I want to talk about, why is there two sides, right? Because what you're saying, I agree with 100%. Like, yeah, you should fake it till you make it, because that's how you become the person that you're trying to become, right? Because you're currently not that. But on the other side, people can take it out of context and it's actually a real thing, and people are actually doing it, which makes it seem very negative, that people are actually faking it and leveraging the outcome that they don't have yet to create income.
Still
influencers.
Positive. Still positive.
I don't think it is. For example, because you're selling something that you have not yet earned. Example, I go rent a Lamborghini. I fucking take a picture with it. I post some BS video course and I sell it to you for $1,000. I'm so inexperienced. That course may not help somebody, but if I took a picture with this Lamborghini, I now look credible. I now make my profile seem as if I'm success, but in reality, I'm selling some bullshit course.
But remember that beauty's in the eye of the beholder. So even though you might think you're selling a bullshit course, if you sold 1,000 of them, I guarantee you one person is going to find something good about it.
I think that's a bullshit fucking move. Integrity. I think
okay.
operating. So in terms of making money.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. You can start making money that way. But where your heart's at, I think there's karma all up on it. And you're going to be exposed.
Yeah.
I don't think you can make money doing that. I honestly don't. Here's why. The internet gives you instant feedback. When somebody tries your product, dude, they can write a review. They can smash you in the comment section. They can go all over. You're going to get instant feedback that this product is trash, and ultimately it's going to tarnish your name. And therefore, you trying to do anything else, now you have this you have a low credibility with everything that you do. I don't want to mess with you. Once you start tarnishing your credit score and your credibility, you are now losing opportunities that now I'm not going to want to mess with you. They're not going to want to mess with you. Anyway, if the next product you come out with, even if it's a banger, because you fucked everyone over at the very beginning, I'm not even going to try it. Top, let's go.
What about Herbalife? Herbalife is a $1 billion company with the most negative reviews ever in the history of a supplement company. And they've filed bankruptcy, and they've been sued, and they've ruined people's lives.
Yeah.
$1 billion company to this day.
I don't think as a human being, there's not something I would want to make my money making $1 billion scamming people, giving them a protein shake that says meal replacement, but is equivalent to a banana.
That was a good analogy.
That's what they do. Like it says meal replacement, but if you look at the calories, it's like 120.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? 120? Who the fuck is eating 120 calories for a meal?
Right. So I guess we have to separate the difference between fake it till you make it, and then along that journey, along the fake it till you make it journey, hopefully you're taking steps to now create a better version of you, or a better version of what you're trying to accomplish in the world, versus integrity and character 24/7. Because you can talk to any billionaire that we listen to, and I guarantee you they have moments where their integrity or their character was like a little off.
Slewed.
It happens to everybody. It happens to everybody.
Yeah.
And you could bring up any company where it's like, ooh, you did a business deal that's a little shady, but look where it got you. It probably challenged your integrity. It probably challenged your character. And hopefully along the way you learned a lesson, right? So like, let's say you do sell a bullshit course. You sell 1,000 of them. And that 1,000 courses that you sold allows you to go rebuild another course, and you make it better. And you say, you know what? I know my first course was bullshit, but I needed income and I needed influence.
Don't lie about your current success.
Okay.
And now I agree. Go sell the $1,000 course that may not be worth $1,000 course, but in your eyes, cool. Like you think it's worth $1,000, go sell it. And then of course you're going to evolve, make it better. But don't lie. That's lying that you have success when you haven't even reached that level of success. Don't lie your way into people's pockets.
For sure. That's a character and integrity thing.
Yeah.
So the tough part is no one's going to trust you to buy a business course if you don't appear to be business savvy. No one's going to hire you as a coach if you don't look the part, right? So that's where sometimes faking it till you make it could work, because then as along this journey of faking it till you make it, again, you as a person should adapt and should bring your character and your integrity back into play, because now you're having the momentum that you sought after, right? So it's impossible really to talk about with like fitness and physiques, but from a business standpoint or from a course standpoint, or even selling a book, like everyone's like, I'm gonna write a book, like whatever you put in that book, who knows if it's true or false, right? Who cares? But if it sells 1,000 copies, and that allows you some breathing room to do some character building on your own, which causes you to come out with a second book that could shed light and truth on the first book, right? So it's kind of like the things of like David Goggins, right? His first book was fucking raw. It was like gruesome. And you're like, whoa, this motherfucker, like he's a robot. But then the second book came out and you're like, well, wait a second, you're not really a robot. You're still doing some really hard shit.
He's a little more polished.
But
the second time around.
He's more polished. He's appeasing to the masses now. The first book was like, hey, only hard fucking people read this. The second book is much more digestible, I think, for the average person. And he's saying, like, I had hard times. I wasn't like this all the time. I was alone. I like have nobody in my foxhole, right? Like, so he starts to shed more light on like his struggles, I guess. But the first book, you would have just thought he was a fucking monster.
So you want to go back to business, right? You're starting a business, selling $1,000 course that may not be a $1,000 course, and you're trying to make it appear to be business that you're successful, so that way people can buy the course, or else nobody's going to buy the course. I get that, but here's a better way to do it. Just give your fucking shit for free, prototype it, see if it actually fucking works. Is what you would tell anybody who jumps in the fitness space. Before you get certified as a trainer, what do? You start coaching your fucking friends for free. And then they start seeing results. And they're like, hey, I'm kind of good at this. Let me go into certifications. And then now you've earned your certificate, now you can start charging because you become what do you call it? A subject matter expert?
SME.
Yeah.
The SME, subject matter expert.
Subject matter expert. Yeah. And then you feel now confident and you don't feel weird about selling a fucking course.
But because you earned it. In the beginning, when you asked your friends, hey, let me train you, hey, let me help you for free, that's faking it till you make it.
I understand
I don't know
that,
what I'm
but
doing.
the integrity, it's free, motherfucker. There's no value. Sure. I'm going to give it to you for free. I'm not going to charge you for something I'm experimenting with.
Yeah. Again, I guess it depends on, one, social media has obviously ruined this premise. Social media, you can fake anything.
Yeah.
Social media and AI and all this stuff, you can fake anything. Now, again, I think if you're going to fake it till you make it, and you are going to charge $1,000 course with no background, no experience to be credible for this $1,000 course, I want to know, what is your end goal?
So here's another example so I can make it very clear, right? Let's say you're starting an agency on Instagram where I'm going to help people get more followers. And you're selling a fucking course, and you yourself have 200 followers, but you're selling me $1,000 course to get thousands of followers.
Yes.
That's what I'm talking about. You're selling me a 6-figure business and you don't have a 6-figure business.
So I paid a dude to do my social media who is from India. And I knew, he was like, hey, here's some videos that I've done.
Yeah.
He could send me any video. I didn't know if he did those or not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he sent me these videos, and he was like, this is what my work is capable of, blah, blah. He had like 50 followers, right? Mm-hmm. And I said, you know what? I'll take a chance. I was like, I lowballed him. He wanted like $200. I was like, I'll give you 100.
Yeah.
And he was like, okay, cool deal. For like 4 videos, right? And then after I had made that investment, I just said, hey, you know what? I'm gonna see if he just does his part. If he makes the videos, number one, but also what kind of interactions like do we have, right? And so that was before I went to TJ, right?
Yeah.
So I'm talking to this dude, and if I didn't text him every 6 hours, he would come looking for me.
Oh.
He'd be like, have you made content today? Are you gonna send me a video today? Are you gonna do this today? Are you gonna do that? And I was like, man, he's fucking on it. So even if all the videos he sent me was a lie, even if he had no background, no experience, he charged me money that he might not be deserving of, but I gave him a chance to prove himself, right? So again, kind of going back, beauty's in the eye of the beholder. It's like, if I'm gonna buy $100 course from you or $1,000 course from you, if I'm gonna buy an Instagram growth package from you, I'm not gonna make a financial investment that I can't afford. If I lost $1,000, would it make or break me, right? If it's gonna break me, I'm not going to do it, period.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not gonna take that chance unless you have the proven track record. Now, if I do, because again, everyone's looking for like the bone. Everyone's just like, man, I just need one client. And if I could get one client and I could record it and I could post testimonies, blah, blah, like the rest of my business would take off.
Yeah.
Right? As a consumer, you have the opportunity to be that person for another person, right? So there's 2 sides of the coin. One is the entrepreneurial side, and integrity and character and so on and so forth. But the other one's the consumer side, where we could literally change someone's life by giving them the opportunity to fake it until they make it. You know what I mean?
So I'm going to add to that. But first, before I add to that, because I think that's super important, because a lot of people won't make any moves because they feel like they're not an expert and they could actually help somebody. But before I get to that, I think a better way to use fake it till you make it is, don't fake the outcome. fake the process, fake the actions. Example,
Okay.
who do you want to model in your life? You don't have to know these people. Who do you want to model? Because that's where the vision, you got to have the vision of where you're trying to go and what do those people do, right? I don't know Andy Frisella. I don't know Ed Milet. I don't know Tony Robbins, but I picture myself in their circle and I do things that they do.
Right.
I'm not on their level.
Yeah.
I'm not faking the outcome, but I am faking and modeling their actions.
Yeah.
Okay. If they're waking up, I'm waking up. If they're reading that book, I'm reading that book. If they're working out, I'm working out. If they're taking care of their spouse, I'm taking care of my spouse. Right. I'm living personal excellence and I'm faking the process. And in the midst of faking the process, when I look up, I'm building something.
Right.
Right.
Right. So that's like, I take it back, you have kids, so take it back, like you tell your kids all the time, pretend to be a firefighter, pretend to be an astronaut, pretend to be blah, blah, blah. You pretend long enough, guess what you're going to be at the end, like in 10, 15 years, you're going to be the astronaut, you're going to be the professional athlete, you're going to be, right? So I like that. You're not a professional athlete right now, you're not a billionaire right now, but you're going to do all of the things that it takes. You're going to pretty much fake this thing until it becomes your new identity.
Yeah.
So, and then in Atomic Habits, they talk about it too.
Yeah.
If you wanted to wake up and be this celebrity and you wanted to look like the celebrity and have the things the celebrity have, you should probably fake their lifestyle until it now becomes ingrained into your lifestyle.
Fake their actions.
Fake their actions.
Not the lifestyle, you'll be broke.
Yes. So not what they're spending money on, but what they're like, wake up early, take care of yourself, exercise, eat right, so on and so forth, train, whatever the case may be.
I think it's just so easy to try to fake the lifestyle first. Right. I think that's because it's immediate. It makes me feel like I'm successful even though I'm not. And it's the immediate gratification. I think that's where fake it till you make it becomes a little, probably not the path you want to go, because that's a dangerous path, right? Because everybody wants to look fucking successful, the status, the quote. I want to look successful in front of my family, in front of my wife, in front of my community, right? So I might do things that might put me in a pickle that I'm not even there yet, right? And so it's really easy to do keeping up with the Joneses. Right? I've done that for the first 20, or in my 20s, that's all I did was keep up with the Joneses. Shouldn't I have been doing 5-bedroom house at age 20, right?
That's wild.
Come on, dude.
That's wild.
Come on, right? And so those are the lessons that I had to learn. But if you're going to fake it till you make it, let's fake the actions, not the outcome. If you fake the actions long enough, the outcome will produce what it needs to produce, right? Inputs and outputs. But go back to what we were talking about earlier. Don't wait till you're Tony Robbins to start doing Tony Robbins things.
Right.
Okay. And Eric Thomas had a good scale, and it kind of helped with a friend that he has some skills with the electronics with cameras, right? But he wasn't super skilled. He was like out of a 5 being the best, he was like at a 2 or a 3. He was the 2 to 3 range. He knew way more than me. I'm at a 1. And so I was utilizing him to do some things for me. And I was telling him, hey man, you can really help some people out. He's like, nah man, I don't feel confident. I'm not even at like a level 5. I'm not a master or anything like that. I was like, well, Eric Thomas says, if you're like a 3, then you can help the 2s and the 1s.
For sure. And that's a majority of the population.
Yeah. Because everyone's surface level.
Yeah.
Everyone's surface level.
Yeah.
So I told him, I was like, no, you have something to offer, bro. Like, you're helping me. Like, you are above me in this field. I don't care if you're a 5, because right now you're helping me get here.
Yeah.
And you can help other people, even though you're not a 5. Don't try to act like a 5 now.
Right.
All right? But be the person that can help the 1s and the 2s to get to where you are. And in the process of you helping them, you're going to level yourself up, because now you're going to do what you do is you're going to become the expert in this, and it's going to force you to actually level up, right? That's that extra accountability. These people are counting on me to help them. I better go do my research. I better go put my hours in. I better go put my inputs in. And then in that process, you are now turning into a 4.
Yeah.
And now you can help 3s, 2s, and 1s.
Yep. I say that all the time. So I've had this new approach with my clients who struggle with accountability. I can't wake up. I can't go work out. Or I can't do this. I go bring someone with you along the journey. Go act like their coach.
Yeah.
Go spouse, friend, whoever. Hey, I'm going to go to the gym every day at 5 a.m. You want to come with me? And invite them onto the journey with you and pretend to be their accountability person and their expert. Because it's going to hold you so much more accountable. I learned this early on in school. I was never strong in school. I think we've talked about this in my story. Go back to season 1 and look up our interviews. But I was never strong in school. I was a B, C, D student pretty much my whole life. And junior year, I had Miss Tipton. I talked about her in my interview. Miss Tipton was just throwing me in all these situations where I had to fake it till I make it.
Yeah.
From a student standpoint and from a teacher standpoint. She was just throwing me in these situations. I'm like, fuck, I don't want to do that. And I had to do it, right? Well, I became a tutor. And I tutored ESL students, so English as a second language. So we could pass the tax tests, or they could pass the tax test. And I was in a subject matter. One, I wasn't that smart. And 2, I didn't have the best grades. I wasn't a straight A student, and I wasn't even getting good grades on the tax test. I was like barely passing and getting through state testing. And she made me teach these fuckers.
Yeah.
And I had to teach it in a different language, not like only that, right? Math and science. And I became so fucking smart.
Yeah.
I was like, my senior year, so that was my junior year. My senior year, I was a straight A student because I was thrown into an environment where I had to fake it till I made it. And it forced me to level up.
That's actually a strategy that a lot of entrepreneurs use. Mm-hmm. Some intentionally, some on accident. An opportunity comes. You're like, you know you're not ready. 100%. I'm not ready, but I'm gonna take it, right? Because it's an opportunity. And then because you fucking went on the deep end, you are forced to swim. Yep. And I've done that in every single career that I made the shift from 8 to 5, cold turkey, quit the next day to jump and start a franchise. Mm-hmm. Don't know nothing about it. Guess what? Forced me to sink or swim. When I shift to real estate and sold everything I owned to go purchase real estate, well, actually I did at that point. I went to go learn a whole bunch about real estate before I did it. But the problem is, even when I did that jump, I was still very uneducated. And this is a different topic, but reading about it and actually doing it are two different things. You can read about swimming.
Never gonna be a good swimmer.
Every year, and you're still not gonna be a great swimmer because you don't have the context, right? And so even though I read all the books, took all the courses, it at least gave me the courage to jump, right? And then actually jumping in there, I was swimming with sharks and getting eaten from every side and bitten and came out like Rambo though.
Heck yeah. That's what it's all about. round 13, 14 of Rocky. And so it's a strategy. I think most people will never take the first step because they're scared to fake it till they make it, or they just, the imposter syndrome gets the best of them and they never try. So yes, don't pretend like you are a millionaire and don't pretend like you have 1,000 clients, but you can show consistency in your work, in your progress, in your grind, in your hustle. And then when you do get your first client, for free or for not, fucking act like they're the best thing ever. Act like y'all are seeing the best results ever. Because again, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And so you don't know who's going to watch your stuff or read your stuff and be like, this is exactly what I needed. Yeah. You just don't know. Absolutely. So if you lie about it, consistently, it's so funny. Like when everyone, when we partnered with Camp Gladiator, mm-hmm. And I get a phone call from the CEO, and shout out to Tyler who had my back the whole time, but he was like, hey, I need Joseph. Well, the CEO, Jeff, didn't know anything about me. Yeah. And so here I am talking, and he's like, hey man, Tyler says you helped him build his business. Tyler says you have an even more successful business than him, yada yada yada. And I was like, yeah, I make about $300,000 a year. And I'll never forget the look in Jeff's eyes when he was just like, he literally looked in, I saw his eyes. Yeah. Like, no, you don't. He's like, you're lying. Yeah. And then I had to turn over my financial statements to him, and he was like, do you understand how successful you are? And I was like, yeah, bro, I think, but it's not enough. Yeah. But so don't go out and think that you can go brag about making 6 figures or 7 figures or whatever when you don't.
Also, making so everything's relative. When you make 6 figures or multiple 6 figures, somebody's making quadruple the amount of that.
It's literally it's nothing.
That should be the baseline. Mm-hmm. It should be the reach for every person. Is the bare minimum should be 6 figures, mm-hmm. right? Because even when I was making 6 figures, I was a single family income. So a family income total income for a family was 6 figures. That's not enough.
Yeah.
That's so if you got
you have
two
orphanage.
people, it's still not you got to feed all these monsters. They all play different sports. They all do different things. You got to buy all their clothes. Like you got these doctors, you got these appointments, you got it all adds up to a ton. So $100,000.
Nothing.
It's still trying to survive.
Well, you're only bringing home like 75 of it. That's number one. So now you're living off of 75.
If it's 2 people in a household and the total is 100K, so if I just make 100K, it's really just 50K each. Right?
It's not a lot.
It's not a lot.
Yeah, it sounds. I think 10 years ago, 6 figures used to be a lot. Now it's
with inflation, it's definitely not a lot.
Yeah, inflation's like what 6-8%.
It's fucking terrible.
So
go make more money.
Yeah.
Or go figure out how to make more money.
So that's again, you can fake the process all you want. Like, I guess when people hear fake it till you make it, some people might take it as disingenuous. And I don't think that's the case. I think it's someone saying, hey, I don't want to do this, but I know that I have to in order to get to where I want to go. Right? So it's like this is not who I am, but it's who I want to be. Right? So you're like, hey, I'm selling these courses and I'm selling whatever, blah, blah, blah. I might not know what I'm doing right now. I might not have any experience in the field, but I know that in 10 years, I want to be a subject matter expert in this thing. This is what kind of like motivates me and makes me happy, right? And so most people can look at someone who is completely changed their character, their routine, whatever the case may be, and be like, that's not who they are. I know the real them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, whoa, don't shit on them because they're trying to fucking change.
Yeah.
Right? Don't shit on them because they just woke up one day and just completely pivoted their lifestyle. Like, cheer them on. Like, oh, now you want to work out at 5 a.m., but you've been a lazy piece of shit for 20 years? Cool.
Yeah, you can't judge somebody from their past experience.
Yeah.
You can't. So you definitely can't judge me a week from now because I read about a book a week.
Yeah.
Like Jonathan last week knows things. This Jonathan is like I'm loaded with new information.
Right.
And I'm always chasing the future Jonathan. That Jonathan is fucking just learning. And I saw a post. I hate when we go on two sides of the extreme.
Yeah.
And so there is a guy's like, for those of you guys who read a book a month or a book a week, you're wasting your life. And I was like, so now you're telling people not to read? Yeah. And then for the people that aren't reading, should be reading, the answer is always in the middle. And it sucks because this person is, I would say, what would be a success for an entrepreneur? I think a bare minimum would say you got a career in business for 6 figures, right? All right, so success, I think that's like the benchmark. That's the entry to say you actually have a business that's actually running, right? Yeah. 6 figures. All right, well, this person makes 6 figures, has a business, and no kids, no family. And I don't think people really understand if you have a family and you're trying to start a business, how well-rounded and sharp you have to be. Because if you take the single route where all I'm going to focus is business and how to create this and build this, your whole entire life would go to shit.
Right.
You have relationships that you have to maintain. You have to be a fucking father at the same time. You have to take care of your mental health over here. You have to work out. You have to be sure your wife is good. And so that's where reading for me, reading these books, book a week, it's watering my fucking plants.
For sure.
And to making sure that they're not dying. Because my relationship, let's go water that. Let's go read. Let's go get some new information. Be sure that it's up to par. But the majority of my focus is my pain point of my business. The majority of it is going to be to help my business. But for me, the reading articles, reading the books, the podcast, it's just to water things. So I can just be sure they don't die.
Yeah. I was listening to, 2 years ago, I took a deep dive down into like communication books and podcasts and like learning how to speak to people. Then I took a deep dive down like fitness and nutrition and physiology type education and books. Now I'm on sales. Yeah. Everything I read is about sales and business and growth. And so seasons change. And so again, if you're like, well, well, Joseph, like, you're a coach, you're not a sales guy. Oh, now you're a piece of shit because all you do is talk about sales and money. And I'm like, no, I just understand that if my business makes $300,000 a year and I want to make $500,000 a year, I have to get better at sales.
Yeah.
My team has to get better at sales. I have to get better at lead generation, closing, advertisement marketing. So that's how you level up.
Yeah.
Right. And then there's always you're like, well, balance. But even if you look at your life right now, I bet there's still no balance.
No, it's not. All of it's business, and then everything is mid-lower.
Yeah.
Like my kids, I'm not spending as much time as I would love with my kids, but it's enough to just mentally, for a father, I'm putting something in there.
Sure.
But the wife, that one's a little bit higher than the kids, because I can't operate if the wife isn't on board with what I'm trying to do. So the wife has a little bit of an edge here, and then the rest of it is business. Right? It's it's not balanced at all. But I am not going singular.
Right.
Like, as if I was single, I can go very fucking singular. I don't think I would want to eat. I don't think I would want to do anything. I just feel like this is all that I would want to do. Then cool, let's go in and do it. But since I have responsibilities as a man, as a father, I can't let those go on empty.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
My heart would fucking be terrible.
Of course. Then your character
and then everything would go to shit. Like, so if my mental's not on point, then everything would go to shit in my little hemisphere. Yeah.
And so, I don't know how long we've been talking, but to wrap this up, like, faking it till you make it, pretending, call it what you want. Like, no one would stop a kid from running around pretending to be Iron Man. No one would shut that down.
Yeah.
Like, Iron Man costume, talking like Iron Man, or like doing Iron Man things. No one would stop that. But the moment you try to act like you have discipline, act like you care about your health, act like you yada, 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 people just shit on it. And, it's I'm glad this popped in my head. I was watching a reel the other day, and it's a professor, and he's writing equations on the board. 9 times 1 is 9, 9 times 2 is 18.
I've seen this one. Yeah.
And then he makes a mistake. 9 times 10, he puts 91. Makes a mistake. The whole class laughs at him. Ha, you got it wrong, blah, blah. And he goes, well, I got it right 9 times, and no one said anything.
Yeah.
The one time I got it wrong, everyone laughs. And at the end of it, so he goes on and says, you know what, people are just waiting for you to mess up.
Yeah.
And at the end of, like, the moral of the story is, no matter how high up you are, or no matter how successful you are, if you're a teacher, if you're a billionaire, or whatever, you're still human, and you're still going to make mistakes. And the people who can only communicate with you when you make a mistake are the people you don't want in your life. And so when you're faking it till you make it, and people are just like, that's not you. Like, what are you doing? Like, why are you acting like this? Blah, blah. Get rid of them. We talk about this in Unconquerable a lot. Get rid of your social circle. I don't care if it's family. I don't care if it's friends. I don't care if it's coworkers. If it's dragging you down every time you try to do something good, even if it's faking it till you make it, get rid of them. Because if your end goal is to lose 100 pounds, get off of your medications, build a business, whatever the case may be, and the only people willing to talk to you are the ones who call you out when you make a mistake or when you're acting different, get rid of them.
On the path they're trying to go, you have to trim the fat.
You have to.
You got to surround yourself with people who are on that same mission, right? We spoke about that before. If I'm going to go on the fitness thing, and I've never been about the fitness life, and I've been about being lazy, watching Netflix, eating junk food, and my friends all do the exact same thing, then if I want to make a change, then I need to go hang out with the people that are doing the things that I need to do to become this person to get that goal, right? So I'm going to hang out with fitness people. If I want to make a lot of money, I'm going to start hanging out with people who make a lot of money.
Yeah.
All right.
And you can call me a fraud. You can call me whatever you want. But when I do make it, you'll be watching.
Not only that, I think most people aren't going to try because the first excuse is, I don't even know where these people are. Cool. Yeah. You don't have to know them. Mm-hmm. I run with Ed Milet and Priscilla every single day, bro. I'm their best friends. These are my boys. Yeah. Oh, my kids.
My new one is Andy Elliott. Bro. Andy Elliott cracks me up, man. I was on. He had a free call the other day. I sent it to all my coaches. I think like 3 of the coaches got on, and so it was a live, just session about whatever. And one of the greatest things I think I got out of that was he was like, share all your bullshit. Anything that you're embarrassed of, share it. Fucking tell the world. because you're trying to hide it, and you hiding it and trying to protect it so no one finds out about it is what's holding you back.
Oh, that's good.
And I was like, oh shit.
That's how Eminem won his rap battle.
Yeah, he did. You're right. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, caught all his
and
bullshit.
I do live with my mom.
Yeah.
And I did get jumped.
And
All
then
6 of you
you're released, bro.
You're released. It is so powerful for you to just be fucking honest and for you to lay it all out there and say, this is who I am. Take it or leave it.
Yeah.
Right? But at least now you're free. And you don't have to worry about the judgment of other people's, because the initial act of drying out your laundry, let's say, is a little scary, but in a day or two, it's gone, right? Like in a day or two, everyone already forgot about it. In a day or two, fucking, no one even remembers. And now, but you as a person can act way more freely. You have, your mindset is already to the next level because you're not hiding anything.
So here's a quote for that.
All right.
And we'll end here.
All right.
Embarrassment is the cost of entry. If you aren't willing to look like a foolish beginner, you'll never become a graceful master. Embarrassment is the
that Alex
cost
Hermosi?
of entry. I don't know who it is. No, it's not.
It's not?
It's a meme. It's just a meme.
Oh, Alex has a lot of those quotes. All right, guys.
Yeah.
Well, hey, moral of the story, please fake it till you make it.
Actions.
Fake
Fake the actions.
Fake the actions. Fake the motivation. Fake motivation is better than no motivation. Fake action is better than no action. And again, as always, share, like, subscribe, put some questions or concerns in the comments. We would love to banter and argue with you.
Absolutely.
We have nothing better to do with our life. Send it to a friend who is on a journey, who might be scared to take action. And
don't work to keep up. Work to separate.
adios.